14 gamer here, and Spiral Abyss 4.4. Let's just get this over with.
Think you can get away?
Taking a turn for the better.
There is no escape. I see everything. Time for takeoff.
Solidify!
yourself. Think you can get away? Hold it, buddy. Yourself a room. This way for you. Let's play. Time for takeoff.
Remember, health comes first.
Share my knowledge. Inazuma shines eternal. Illusion shattered. Think you can get away? Yahoo!
Whoa, seems like an emergency.
There is no escape. Now you shall perish. The majesty.
Solidify!
Teamwork is true. Fire! This one's got your name on it. Fellow warfare, I guess.
This is order. Gather!
Get them! Feeling lucky? Fire! Hey there!
Stabilize! Order guide you!
Everybody stand back! Into the fire! Coming at you! Hey there! Nice and spicy! Let's light it up! Go ahead! Fire! Coming at you! This one's got your name on it! I see everything!
Remember, health comes first.
Calm to oblivion! Illusion shattered! A minute to minute! It's such a room!
Busted! These are about to get done. Mind the side effects. Taking a turn for the better.
Now you shall perish! Shine down! Illusion shattered! This way for you! Inazuma shines eternal!
Your journey ends.
Target practice.
This is Soy.
Let's light it up! Where do you think you're going? Watch out! A proper send-down from the Cena Lithra. Go ahead! You're in toast!
Stabilize.
Hey there! Hiya! Feeling lucky? A proper send-down! Dance with me!
Solidify. I will have order. A bitter pill to swallow. Taking a turn for the better.
Things are about to get dicey. Minute to memory. Make yourselves at home. Shine down. Torn to oblivion. This may pretty.
Quiet now. Seems like an emergency. Mind the side effects.
The Temple of Wisdom. Minute to memory. Now you shall perish.
Solidify!
Everybody stand back. Let's act the prize hit.
This is order.
Fire! Well, withdraw. Umbrella warfare, I guess. Check. Umbrella warfare, I guess. Eat this! I'm going in!
It's not
Stabilize.
Fire! Well, withdraw. Feel a little lucky? Hiya!
Order guide you.
A river in a garland.
Solidify!
Nice and
The
spicy.
left is in a lost place.
Umbrella warfare, I guess.
A heartbeat for demons.
Teamwork is
A
teamwork.
wish is changeless.
Feel a little lucky?
All my life is over. One strike just bang, then I'm out of this
Illusion shot. Now you'll that you will see. Gotcha. Take it easy. Make yourselves at home. Game's up. Time's over.
Taking a turn for the better.
Inazuma shines eternal. There's no escape.
Mind the side effects. Seems like an emergency.
Now you shall perish.
And that is it for the Spiral Abyss 4.4. So before we get onto the actual Abyss, I have to showcase, well, the map. Because yours truly has beaten the map 100%. So yeah, I completed the upper half, I completed the bottom half, I also completed the new place as well, Mount Lyxen. So it took me around less than 24 hours to do it. So yeah, it's thanks to the interactive map that I was able to get everything 100%. So I basically collected every single spirit carp, I collected every single chest, and I did basically everything. So there's literally nothing for me to do to this place besides getting materials for Shang Yun and also beating the new boss right here. By the way, keep in mind that he is gonna be in the new Abyss. So, make sure you fight him, because you probably need to know the mechanics behind that boss if you want to stand a chance. But, besides that, it's time to actually talk about the Abyss. No screwing around. We are going to be diving into the meat and potatoes. But not that much, because I have to save that for the commentary video. So yeah, I'll just give the Spark Notes version for floors 11 and 12, and I can just talk about my builds there. So yeah, well, anyways, floor 11 is really easy. I am not joking. They literally give you a 75% animal damage bonus on your characters, which means one thing and one thing alone. You can use Animo crowd controllers. So, Kazuha, Venti, Wanderer, Jean, Sean Yoon. You could use any of them, and basically you're able to do a lot of damage. So as you see here, it's just a bunch of basic enemies, which is slimes, hilichurls, vishaps, mage or pyro abyss mages that you can use animal on to destroy their shields, 2 ruin drakes, and then just treasure hoarders and mirror maidens. It's not that bad. It's not really that bad. I guess the only thing to worry about is the ruin drakes, I guess, because they're always in the air a lot. But then again, you could just use a bow character. So yeah, not really a big challenge there. The only thing you probably have to worry about in floor 11 is the ruin drake and probably the vishap. But then again, it's not really that bad. Just bring your strongest team and you should be fine on this floor. Definitely. Floor 12, however, is going to be a complete and utter nightmare because the second half has some of the most annoying enemies in the entire game. And if you fought them before in the overworld, or if you ever played 3.0 Spiral Abyss, you probably already know that this is going to be a really, really bad thing. So you'll see here, Ruined Serpent, Secta Wenut, Aeon Blight Drake. Big yikes. That is a really, really big yikes. Because these things have one thing and one thing in common. They're really annoying to fight. And the first half is not really that much noteworthy to even talk about anyway. Because these, these first halves are like the other first halves with giant boss gauntlets for the Abyss, where you have to beat them as fast as possible so you can have a lot of time on the second half. So yeah, that's why these enemies are pretty easy to beat, which is the mechs, the breachers, the eremites, and then the specialist mechs. Yeah, these are pretty easy to beat, so it's not really anything noteworthy to talk about on first half. The second half is where the real meat and potatoes are for this Abyss. So the Ruined Serpent is not that bad. Honestly, it's not that bad. It doesn't go underground that often, so you can just basically attack it as much as you want. And also, it doesn't have special resistance, unlike the Wenut. Yeah, this thing has resistance up the wazoo, and if you fought this thing before, you know that it has special resistance to attacks, unless it gets stunned. How do you get it stunned exactly? You have to wait around 30 seconds. Yeah, that is wasting time. You have to wait 30 seconds, and it does its desperation attack where it summons animal orbs. You do a reaction on it, basically, so any elemental reaction should do it. It gets on the ground and gets stunned for 3 seconds. Yes, you heard me right. 3 seconds. That's all you get. That's all you get. And once you do go through those 3 seconds, it goes back up again and gets its resistance back. So, what is the strategy? Save all your bursts until that desperation, because that is where most of your damage will go to. So yeah, the Wenut, he's annoying as ever, and he's back. So, yikes. I will go into greater detail on the commentary video, but that is basically the Spark built version. But yeah, the Wenut is really annoying. And for Chamber 3, the Aeon Blight Drake, all you have to do is bring a bow. If you did fight this thing in the overworld, you already know that it stays on the ground first. In the Abyss, it stays in the air. So the only way to shoot this thing down is if it does its missile attack, which most of the time he does. And then all you have to do is just shoot the core, and then it goes down. Or you could shoot its wings. Yeah, the glowing thing on his wings, both of his wings, you could shoot that. And it basically goes down. So yeah, you have 2 options to stun this thing. The quickest way is if it does that missile attack. Sometimes he does it on the first try, where he basically does the missile attack right away. Sometimes it takes a full-on minute for him to do the missile attack. Yeah, it is complete RNG. So whether or not he does the missile attack basically depends on what your time will be in the Abyss. So if you don't want to deal with that, then you can exploit its second weakness, where you can just attack its wings if you think that it won't do that missile attack. So yeah, but once it does go down and get stunned, basically it becomes a damage sponge. So yeah, basically defeat it as fast as possible in that 30 seconds. If you don't, then it gains resistance to the element that it got struck in, and then it just goes back up flying again. You don't want that to happen. So once it gets stunned, try to defeat it as fast as possible. And then that is your best run. So yeah, there you go. There is the Spark Notes version for floor 11 and floor 12. Again, I'll go into greater detail once the commentary video has hit. And now it's time to do the builds. So yeah, for one particular character, I won't go into their build that much because it'll spoil a future video. You'll see. So, first off, we're gonna be talking about the first half, which is the Navia team. So yeah, here we go. So we have the Navia double pyro team. So here is Navia. So she has changed a lot. She does not run the Geo attack percent artifact set anymore. She runs a completely different set. But in exchange, I got her stats nerfed. So yeah, crit rate is still okay. I mean, 50% crit rate is still pretty good. 225% crit damage is phenomenal. She has Geo damage, of course. So yeah, she's got that going for her. Of course, I have her weapon, the Verdict, which is her best weapon. Her other free-to-play weapons are pretty good too, like the Melusine Claymore or the Serpent Spine. That's also a pretty good Claymore on her too. It really depends on what you want to build your Navia as, but Verdict is definitely her best weapon, so that is why I gave it to her. As for artifact set, as you see here, this is her new artifact set, which is Nighttime Whispers in the Echoing Woods, aka the Echoing set, or Woods set. So, yeah, this is definitely her best set. If you want to run a free-to-play Navia, you can just run Attack Geo. That works too. But, Woods is definitely her best set, which is why I just gave it to her. She does way too much damage with it. For constellations, I have Red C0. I'm not a whale, so I don't want her constellations. Also, she's good without constellations anyway. She doesn't really need it, so yeah. And as for talents, I have 8, 10, 6. Yes, I'm still trying to level this up. I don't have enough talent materials for the normals. This would have been level 10 by now, by the way. But I still have to get artifacts for Shanyun and Chevreuse. So yeah, those two are having trouble getting their artifacts, so that is why I can't get this to level 10. But I still at least got her E to level 10, which is her bread and butter. So yeah, there's Navia. Still pretty good. Best Geo damage character in the game. So yeah. Next up, we have the Shielder and the Geo Archon Zhongli. So as you see here, his HP is at 50k. I have crit rate, crit damage on him. I know. Why not build him with full HP? I only did this because I want him to do at least some damage with this Q, because his Q's damage scaling is ridiculous. So yeah, his Q does 50k on hit. I know it doesn't sound bad, but it could be better if you do actually build him as a sub DPS, but I gave him the bare minimum so he could do the bare minimum as well as get max HP. I really had to balance all of his stats, so yeah, it was a real chore. As for weapon, I have Black Tassel. This is literally his best weapon. I'm not joking. This is his best weapon. And that's because he gets HP on the 3-star. Yeah, you can literally summon right now, get a Black Tassel, slap it on him, and he literally becomes really good. This is his best support weapon. If you're talking about his best sub DPS weapon, it's definitely the Staff of Homa, because at least that gives him 20% HP on passive. So yeah, Black Tassel, really good. Its passive talent, though, is pretty bad. But, hey, man. HP percent, pole arm, really good. It's also Chevreuse's best weapon, by the way. As for artifacts, I gave him Tenacity of the Millith. This is definitely his best support set. His best sub DPS set is Geo Burst Damage. Yeah. So Noblesse and Geo. But his best set is Millith if you want a support Zhongli. Works really well since a lot of people use elemental skills. So yeah. As for constellations, I have him at C0. He doesn't need constellations to be good, so there's really no point into giving him constellations if all he does is just pull up the shield. So yeah. And as for talents, 6, 10, 6. Yeah, I only leveled this up to level 10 because that is what he is. He's just a shielder. So yeah, that's Zhongli. Pretty good. Support. Still one of the best Geo supports in the entire game. And definitely the best shielder in the game. So yeah. Next up, we got the only Pyro sub DPS ever, at least until Arlencino comes out, Zhongling. So Zhongling is really good. Still really good to this day. She's a day 1 character. So yeah. I have a crit rate, crit damage at decent levels. Energy recharge at 200. So yeah, you could probably tell what build she is. She's a sub DPS. As for weapon, I have the catch. This is definitely her best weapon. If you have Raiden with the catch, then Dragon's Bane. Yeah, you could just run Dragon's Bane. But the catch is her best weapon. No questions asked, because it increases her burst damage. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece emblem. This is the best set for sub DPSs. You'll see it a lot on my sub DPS sets because this is their bread and butter. They do burst and they do damage. So yeah, emblem is the best sub DPS set. As for constellations, I have her at C6. Really easy to get. She's a day 1 character, so you can get constellations naturally. She also appears on a lot of banners too, which means that you can get her C6. And right now, she's at the shop, I'm pretty sure. So you could just get that too. So yeah, she's pretty easy to get C6. So yeah. As for talents, I have her at 6, 9, 11. This would have gone to 13 if, again, Chevreuse and Xiangyun would get her artifacts. So yeah, that is basically it for Zhongling. Really cool Pyro sub DPS. If only there was one more in the pack besides Toma. And last but not least, we have Bennett, our boy Bennett, who's been really good to this very day. Still good and one of the best buffers in the game. As you see here, he has 260% energy recharge, meaning that he gets a lot of energy recharge. 30k HP for the heals. And yeah, that's your standard Benny build. As for weapons, I have the Skyward Blade. This is literally his best weapon. If you want to give him the highest base attack weapon, aka Aquilia Favonia, you could just give that to him and then just have like 200% energy recharge, and that works too. But in Abyss runs, I don't really need the high base attack because, well, I prioritize energy recharge so we can get his burst back so we can get the instant healing. So yeah. Yeah, but Skyward Blade, best weapon. For his other free-to-play weapon, you could just give him the Festering Desire if you are a true OG. If not, then you could just run Favonia's Sword. Yeah. Really nothing special. So Skyward Blade, best weapon. Aquilia Favonia, his best base attack weapon. Festering Desire, his best free-to-play weapon. And if you're not an OG, then the Favonia's Sword, because it has, at least it has energy recharge. As for artifact set, I have Noblesse, best set. No questions asked because it literally increases your attack for burst. Yeah. As for constellations, I have him at C5. C6 I don't want to use because it restricts him on what teams I use him on. So that's the reason why I never got him C6, because I still use Kuching sometimes. So yeah, if only they fix this constellation, I would actually do C6, but I would never do it now because, well, there are a lot of characters who need Benny. So yeah. As for talents, I have him at 6, 9, 13. Yeah, this is level maxed because it is his bread and butter, his burst. That is what you use him for. So yeah, that's basically it for Bennett. Now it's time for the second team for the second half. So this is where we get into the spoiler territory on a video, so you'll see what I mean. But here is Raiden Shogun. She is really good. Still is good to this very day. I still think she's the best character. So yeah. As you see here, crit rate, crit damage is pretty high. Energy recharge is at 300%, which is pretty cool. As for weapon, I have Engulfing Lightning. Her second best weapon is the catch, of course, so you could just give her the catch. But Engulfing Lightning is her best weapon. Really good on Raiden. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece emblem, which is her best set because it is her best main, her best sub, her best support. This is literally her best artifact set. So yeah, had to give this to her. As for constellations, ever at C2, I did a C2 summoning video, so of course I had to get her C2 because I use her a lot. But the only reason why I got it, ignore 60% defense. That's literally it. I just wanted to blaze through Spiral Abyss. So yeah. And as for talents, I have 10, 10, 10. I use her a lot, so I triple crowned her. But yeah, there is Raiden Shogun, still really good to this very day. Definitely the best Electro DPS in the game, that's for sure. And here we have Nahida, our Dendro goddess. So, this is where I get to the spoiler territory, because I will not show constellations. I will keep you guys guessing on what her constellations might be. So yeah, I apologize for not showing constellations and not showing the full build, but if you want to know the full build, then wait for the Nahida summoning video. So yeah, but here it is. Her crit damage is pretty good. Her energy recharge, she doesn't need energy recharge because she gets her burst right away anyway. So yeah, doesn't really need it. As for weapon, I have 1,000 Floating Dreams. Definitely her best weapon. Her best free-to-play weapon is the Magic Guide, which is a 3-star Catalyst weapon. So yeah, you can give her the Magic Guide R5 and she works splendidly. If not, then you just run 1,000 Floating Dreams. Yeah, doesn't really matter what you run her as. She is really good regardless. As for artifact set, I gave her Deepwood Memories. Really, really good set. Definitely her best set. Unless you already have a Deepwood Memories character, then you can just run her with Gilded. Yeah, so either Deepwood or Gilded. It doesn't really matter what you run your Nahida as long as she is dealing a ton of damage with her Elemental Mastery. So yeah, Deepwood is her best set. But if you already have a Deepwood user, then you can just give her Gilded. As for constellations, I will let you guys keep guessing on that. So yeah, sorry, but I am skipping over the constellations. Take a guess on what you think my Nahida's constellations is. You think she's still C0? You think she's C1? You think she's C2? Well, only one way to find out, and that is to watch the Nahida summoning video. So yeah. As for talents, I have 6, 10, 10. Definitely have to crown these two because it is her bread and butter. It's what she is mainly used for, but I might actually get this to level 10 now because at least her normal attacks do at least somewhat good damage, and besides, you can make her a main DPS anyway if you do have her C2. But at C0, you can still at least level up the normal attacks too, and she still performs really well because she's a Catalyst character. So yeah, C1, C2, C0, it doesn't really matter. She could become a main DPS. So yeah. But there is Nahida, really, really good character. One of the best dungeon supports in the game, and you can get her right now because, well, her banner is still out. So, yeah. Next up, we have Yelan. I know what you're saying. Wait, but isn't Farina supposed to be on the team? Well, no, because of one simple thing. The Aeon Blight Drake. Because the Aeon Blight Drake is in the Spiral Abyss, I have to opt her out for a bow character. So yeah, I replaced Farida with Yelan because at least Yelan has a bow. So yeah, here is Yelan. As you see here, she still hasn't changed. Crit rate, crit damage, energy recharge. Well, you already saw the trend. If it has crit rate, crit damage, energy recharge, I wonder what her artifact set would be. Well, only one way to find out. But first, we have to go over her weapon. So, Aqua Simulacra. Definitely her best weapon. No questions asked. If you want to know what her best free-to-play weapon is, it is the Stringless, hands down, because it increases elemental damage. And what does she do? She does elemental reactions on normal attack. So yeah, Stringless, best free-to-play weapon. Her best main weapon is, of course, her main weapon, Aqua Simulacra. And artifact set. Well, you already know how that goes. Sub DPS always run Emblem of Severed Fate. So yeah, at least some sub DPSs run Emblem of Severed Fate, as long as their sub DPS is tied to burst. So yeah, there is the artifact set Emblem of Severed Fate. Of course, her main bread and butter is her burst. So why not give her the burst sub DPS set? So yeah. As for constellations, I have her at C0. She doesn't need constellations to be good because her main kit is her burst. So yeah. And as for talents, 6, 7, 10. Yes, I finally leveled this up to level 10. So now Yelan can compete with the crowd as one of the best sub DPSs in the game. So yeah, there is Yelan, still pretty good. She might get a rerun soon, but who knows. But definitely a character you should look out for because she's still really good to this very day. So yeah. And last but not least, we have the doctor himself, Baiju, who is one of the best dungeon healers in the game besides Yao Yao. So yeah. So here he is. He has 40k HP with high energy recharge. So basically, he is a full-on healer. As for his weapon, I have Prototype Amber. This is his best weapon. Free-to-play weapon, at least. His other best weapon is definitely his 5-star weapon. But his best 4-star weapon is the Prototype Amber because it is craftable. You can literally craft it and get it and becomes really good. So yeah. And besides, he needs high HP anyway to even get his talents up. So yeah. As for artifact set, I have Deepwood Memories. Yeah, really weird that 2 characters run Deepwood. That's because I run Baiju with other characters that don't have Deepwood. So yeah, I keep this set on him because why not? And besides, he doesn't really have a good artifact set to begin with. You could run the new healing artifact set, but it doesn't really help him that much. Deepwood, it is his best artifact set because at least it does Dendro Res decrease. And Gilded Dreams is okay, I guess, but it's good on characters that do elemental reaction damage that are sub or main DPSs. So yeah, he's in a weird predicament right now where he doesn't really have a good artifact set, but I guess Deepwood is his best. He doesn't really need anything to be really good, which is why Deepwood, I just gave it to him. I know it doesn't stack, but he has high HP and he still supports the team anyway. So yeah, gave him Deepwood because why not? As for constellations, I have him at C0. He doesn't need constellations to be good because his main bread and butter is his E and Q. And as for talents, I have 666. Yes, even though he is minimally built, he still performs really well. So yeah, Baiju, really good character. One of the best Dendro healers in the game. Still really good. I know his rerun has long passed, but if you do ever see him back in a banner, definitely pull for him. He's really good. And that is basically it for the Spiral Abyss, the new 4.4 Spiral Abyss. In general, good luck, guys. Really good luck, because this Spiral Abyss is really hard and unforgiving for those players who have minimally built sets as well as free-to-play players. Yeah, good luck. And I mean it. I really do mean it, because the 3 enemies in the second half are really a pain in the butt to beat. So yeah. Well, anyways, like the video if you like this Spiral Abyss video. Also, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and if you do subscribe, make sure to turn on the notification bell to not miss out on a single Genshin upload that I do. All of your support is greatly appreciated. And if you keep supporting the channel, it fuels my passion on Genshin videos. So, again, guys, if you do like and subscribe, thank you so much for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. And also, comment down below, what do you think of this new Spiral Abyss 4.4? You think it's easy? You think it's hard? What is your least favorite boss on that Abyss? What is your favorite boss on that Abyss? What are your team comps you used on the Abyss? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thank you guys for watching this Spiral Abyss video, and I'll see you guys in the next Genshin video.